Hi, I'm Phil and welcome to the show. Today, I'm watching my first community Diabotical Duel. I'm going to be talking about a game that Drad1k sent into me. Drad1k versus Evesy, I guess. I'll roll with that. Can't see the full name. Obstructed by the HUD. It's all good. So I'm going to be watching this game. I'm going to be talking about what I think about Drad1k's gameplay, what he can maybe do better. And this is yellow armor spawn. So what I want to see off of this spawn, okay, this is important because this is the hardest spawn to play on this map. You go to rockets and you go to mega. If you don't have rockets, your opponent can rush you down and own you. It looks like he might have tried to jump for rockets there. I couldn't really tell if that was like an intentional thing or not. Either way, he put himself at a big risk, but he hasn't been pushed for it. So the thing you're thinking right now is your opponent really wants the pincer. Like there's a good opportunity to get some damage there. But you know, for one thing, I don't have sound cues here, so some of my calls may be a little bit off. He looks for his opponent to come through teleporter, and his opponent actually, basically just sat on red. So again, maybe some sound cues there are giving that away. The movement that Drad1k made, jumping across there, it's really dangerous because if your opponent's here, they can get some good shots on you. Here, I would pretty much be thinking that, you know, maybe you want to drop away, right? Because you're not going to be here long enough to get this red, and you don't have a lot of room to dodge where Drad1k's standing right now. So yeah, Evesy's hit some really sick shots, and coming through this tail leader chase, you're just asking to die, and Evesy does well to actually punish there. So overall, a kind of avoidable situation. You generally don't want to give up frags in the first 2 seconds of a game, right? Now coming into this mega is dangerous. You've seen your opponent get up here. You're just praying that you're going to hit some lucky spam blaster shots, and taking the rail there really hurts. Now you can't get back into the red position now. Your opponent's going to get there first, and you have no armor. So what I like about what Drad1k does there, like he acknowledges that he's behind, he peeks out for one pincer shot, doesn't hit it, and then he's just gone because he knows he has a yellow armor here. So that's really nice conservative play. That kind of play is going to make a big difference over the course of a game. You want to collect this shaft. You expect your opponent is going to be coming for mega. I don't think dropping down for the close range rocket engagement is the right play there because you're at such a stack disadvantage, and Evesy is hitting some good shots. So the idea is good that you know where your opponent's coming from, you want to hit damage, and you're obviously mindful of getting back to this red armor, but the pincer trade, maybe even some shaft if they were kind of rushing through that platform and not expecting it. Here's a fight you can win for sure. You can definitely block Evesy out of this position, but the problem is, okay, so this fight is really specific, and I think you can see my mouse cursor here while I point. If you move back to where Drad1k is, your opponent can keep pushing up this platform. If you move over here, like just behind where this pillar is, you've got a bit of cover from the pillar, but you have a much easier time. Like if you think about how wide this platform is, it's pretty narrow. If you're standing here, they've got the length of the platform to dodge on. If you're standing here, they only have the width, and it's really easy to block people out from this movement. So either they have to commit to basically just eating a face full of rockets or jumping around onto the red, which is also a bit of a death sentence. So just like a small thing that makes a really big difference. You would comfortably win this fight and get this red, in my opinion, if you just position yourself slightly differently once that fight kicked off. You don't want to be here without a rocket. You don't want to be here at all, right? You're just asking to die. Really nice to hit some pincer damage, right? So even though you've died, you can be thinking that you've got some damage. It's not all kind of lost. Again, this is kind of dangerous, kind of scary. I don't think you want to fight at this mega, right? Again, you're looking for the situation where if you're lucky, sure, you're going to hit some spam rocket, but some like 1,000 to 1 spam shot. And if you take a pincer, your opponent is just going to be able to rush you down and push you. So, Evesy probably plays that a little bit too passive. But again, it's one of those things where like you get the mega in the end, so it works out against this specific opponent at this specific time. And there should be a lovely yellow here for you to collect as well. Unfortunate to miss that movement, but it's not going to hurt you too much. But you can see, right, if you got that yellow, Evesy wouldn't have had quite as much time to peek out to that shot. Like you could have had the yellow and been dropping away rather than kind of being caught there. Like you could have been further dropped away, I guess, after picking up the yellow before Evesy had time to get to that shot. So small movement detail, again, like potentially a really large consequence. And Evesy peeking out there, this is a catch I really like, okay? You knew Evesy was going to have pincer out, and so you just pushed him, right? Because you knew you'd get in close, you get good damage, good defensive rocket, and it's important, to really make sure you back away here and don't overcommit. That's really nice. Because you have this red to back off onto, the stacks are going to be pretty good, and you know that you can rush into mega here. The problem, in my opinion, okay, you're rushing in from mid-level, which is like the worst way to come, and yeah, Evesy has a really easy shot on you as you come around that corner. So in my opinion, if you're rushing into Mega, you either rocket jump over the top, which is a big risk, right? There's a lot of danger associated with that. Or you go through the bottom and go through telly. Here again, you're in this awkward situation where like you take this pincer shot, and it's a good idea to peek for the pincer shot, but peeking once you're through the telly, the only option from there is to either commit or just like sit back there and hope. And here's another example of where not having the rocket hurts you as well. So just having this pincer right now, like this is absolutely terrifying. I am clenched on the edge of my seat because if Evesy, decided to be a bit more aggressive in those situations, you had nothing to defend yourself. Now this is a good catch, and you can see you stood a little bit more to the left, more like where I was saying before, and those shots basically hit themselves. So that was a really, really strong punish. And just good use of position, and like, you didn't have all the guns, you didn't have all the items, but you just knew that hitting the damage there was what mattered. Which is such a critical thing in Duel, right? You have to take those situations when your opponent hands them to you on a silver platter. I definitely think coming into red here, you're like, again, the blaster is terrifying. Evesy's fallen victim to it once. He tries his hand at it. But yeah, Dardic, strong plasma. I like to see it. And again, good to be spamming out that pincer spawn, like, just good anticipation of what your opponent wanted to do. And again, kind of thinking that maybe they're coming for the shaft. Good catch here. You really don't want to lose all your stack pushing around this corner. I like that Dardic sits back and waits. And I think that red just got taken away. So across the board, right? And you can see that Dardic's stuck in the mid-level. It's actually kind of awkward if Evesy decides to come through that teleporter. And now Evesy anticipates you at yellow and gets through that telly. So you've got to know that if they're taking that pincer shot, they can get through that telly, and they can get, unless you're super quick from where you were standing, they're gonna be there to cut you off first. Scrappy fight, kind of like awkward drops, could go either way. Good to clean it up, and good to clean it up right before that mega comes as well. So like there was a big reward for winning that fight, and I think there's a decent payoff for the risk. Evesy does a good job of not giving you an easy angle there. I like how quickly you rotate around to this red side. Imperative that you set up here earlier than your opponent. Good shot to connect with, but again, recognizing that fight probably wasn't going to go your way, and just dropping away because of what I was saying before, right? Like you have less room to dodge because you're on the red armor side. So yeah, that's nice. You can play for this yellow and then think about mega. Again, you're probably going to expect your opponent to maybe peek for a shot here or maybe be up top. Okay, so again, the commitment to mid-level here is awkward. It works really well for you there because of how you catch him dropping away. So if that was kind of like an intentional, I'm going to catch him dropping away, mid-level's beautiful. But yeah, if you're like not sure where your opponent is, mid-level's like the wrong place to be. And then rushing into red, again, Evesy is making some really good calls. Like he seems to just be getting to positions faster than you anticipate him, which is causing you a few troubles here. And it's really, like it's good when the things that are doing you a dirty in a duel, like the things that you're falling behind in, are things that your opponent does well rather than things you're doing wrong, right? That's always what you want to see. So yeah, just back away here, make sure you have rockets. This is good. Didn't really have guns to defend yourself if that fight got messy, like if Evesy found a way to kind of get in. This drop from Evesy is pretty ambitious. Again, I think Evesy has more to lose here than you do, because I tend to think that the player on that red is actually in a pretty decent position to hit shots, right? There's not a lot of cover for the player dropping down, but Evesy gets away. Not much is achieved by the player there. I don't think you needed to drop down there quite as quickly. I think you could have tried your luck with some rockets. But I think if you've dropped down, you have to commit to being dropped down, coming back through. Like, it's kind of good because you catch him with pincer out, but you're not going to get close enough while he has pincer out that it's really a huge thing, and now you're just stuck in this awkward, it's kind of like just gambling that this mega's going to come up, and yeah, Evesy pushes you down. But again, it's a situation where the risk isn't ginormous, because you have that red to respawn onto. That's very much the power of Perilous. This is a nice catch. Okay, I don't know if that was a sound cue or just knowledge. I think it's good damage, but again, you don't have the stack to actually follow it through into a frag, and now you're going to be in an awkward situation where if Evesy has really strong timing and knows that this red hasn't come up, they can rush you down. So again, like, you've spawned on red. Basically, the only place you can be in that red room, in my opinion, is standing on that red and hoping that if your opponent tries to rush into you, that you're going to hit the shots that you need to block them out from it. You don't want to rush into this mega. Like, you know, the worst case here, again, you're kind of going back for that shot, right? So off of the spawn, you've gotten a yellow armor, and you don't have a pincer, and you're kind of spamming that teleporter exit in a way where if your opponent comes through and hits you with a pincer, you're going to lose like everything you have, right? You're going to lose the yellow armor, basically. So it's a tough situation, right? Like, you're spamming out a rocket that's going to hit very, very rarely, and you're risking putting yourself off the map. Evesy, I think, is a little bit bold pushing here, honestly, and yeah, this is a good bit of damage to capitalize on. If you fall back towards Mega here, you could maybe like get to the top position. Not having pincer is going to hurt you. I don't think going for pincer here is necessarily the right call, because it's going to put you out of position for Mega. Evesy's going to be here first. You could still go through Telly, and you're going to be in a good spot. So actually, yeah, that's played out pretty well. But it does allow Evesy to get onto the side of red from that position as well. Again, I like you looking for this pincer here. I don't think you necessarily need to push across like this, because it put you in an awkward situation. You could have fallen back and come around for the shot onto yellow rather than playing to like commit to get onto yellow, and you would have come out ahead. Like well ahead of, you know, I guess if the alternative is getting fragged, right? I feel like I'm being very negative here, right? I think Dartic's doing some good stuff, but he's playing a strong opponent who's making good decisions about when to punish him. And it's rough, right? And like some good decisions about when to attack in general. Awesome. I would like to see you maybe be a little bit more careful. Again, I'm saying this without being able to hear the sound cue, but a little bit more careful looking for that pincer. And again, it's just kind of this cycle of spawn and commit really, really heavily to an item. In this case, you hit really nice shots, but again, it's not consistent. It's not reliable. And actually coming around to Mega side here. Again, like you know he doesn't have shaft there, so the drop down is a little bit safer, but he's equalized the stacks and ended up in a position where he's in red, in the red position first, right? So you now have to make a tough decision of chasing through the teleporter and chancing, you know, kind of a 50-50 fight, or I'd probably say a 70-30 fight, or maybe even like a 80-20 fight where he will have the advantage because you're kind of pushing in. That was really nice. Okay, patient, waited. If that shot misses, you have an easy out. But when it hits, there's a huge reward. Really solid decision. Okay, wasting no time getting over here. Again, you don't want to die here, right? Like, dying here, you lose a lot of what you've been working for. Again, I can't tell if that Mega got taken just because I don't have sounds here. I think it's up. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So probably like exit shots on the red here, and that's going to be awkward because Evesy already has the pincer, so it's going to be hard to anticipate where Evesy's going to go. And this is a really big commitment to the red room. Okay, this is better timing than I've managed here, just spectating this. I mean, I'm focused on talking, not timing, so it's a little bit rough. Actually denying the blue armor too, that's tricky. I don't think it's likely to have much of an impact, but it's a good move, and it's you know, especially when you don't have that much armor here. If there's one thing I've really noticed here, it's that you tend to, or Dartic tends to really play on the item position, even when he knows where his opponent is. Like he'll tend to stand on the item and spam it out, rather than maybe positioning based on where his opponent's coming from to get like really tricky damage. Good LG there. Good shaft. That's, I guess, kind of an example of like, and I think the best plays that I've seen Dartic make have been when he knows his opponent is going to have pincer out and he's able to punish. That's a solid kind of trade there, because you know you have that Mega to fall back on, and this should be a frag. Oh, unfortunate to miss that. I'm pretty sure that would have actually fragged him. Alright, but yeah, I mean, you know, in golden frag here, just so critical to stay alive. So, you know, like the play at the top of the map onto the Mega, it's very, very risky. I like the combo there. You know, like catching your opponent, like looking for your opponent to be in those weaker positions because they've got nothing. You can definitely, Evesy. Again, like you can see once Evesy knows that you're standing near that red, they have no fear pushing in. So maybe if you were standing just a little bit further in from that platform, you would, and again, kind of in that place where you're playing to the width of that corridor rather than like more of a diagonal. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like Easy's really taken advantage of that a few times there. All right, probably would be looking for Easy to come in low, and you got there first, which is nice. And with this yellow, you have a big stack advantage. I think just get to red, right? Like, forget this shot, get to red side. Because if you dilly-dally around and you take that shot, you risk your opponent getting into position first. This is a weird drop down from Eavesy in my opinion. They've hit 2 good shots and kind of caught you unaware, so I guess that's kind of the idea. But I think it's an unnecessary risk. Maker's going to come up, and because you go for this armor, Eavesy actually gets into this position first. So really small detail there, right? I'm actually going to rewind, okay? Because I think this is really, really interesting. Because it seems so safe on paper, right? But like you're in position there where you can go top or whatever, and I'm pretty sure you would have a stack advantage, right? Or you would have such a position advantage, but because you think, I want that armor, but actually it gives up position and it lets Eavesy come in, like not only take position but hit that shot as well on the way through, and then you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Because if you give up Mega there, well, this situation basically tells you give up Mega, and you risk Eavesy just having the stack to push through and roll you over and win the game, or you take this gamble and Eavesy plays it really smart through the teleporter exit and is able to win. That's a really interesting match. Thank you. I've been calling you Dardic, and it says right here Drad1k. So I'm not gonna re-record it, but man, I'm very sorry I've been mispronouncing your name for the last 17 minutes. Holy shit. But yeah, like I said, I feel like I was very negative, maybe like a little bit over negative. I would rather focus on things I can call out that you can maybe look to improve. I think that's easier for me especially. But yeah, overall, I really like the moments that you caught Eavesy with the wrong gun out. I think that was really nice. And that's the kind of play that, really, really has a massive payoff, a massive reward. But overall, really think about how you're positioned, especially around the items. And really think about how your opponent can push the position that you're in. Kind of like, if I stand here, what's the worst thing that can happen? Right? Because with a couple of positions on the red, the answer is he will push me and I will have to either leave this platform or take a bunch of rockets, or both. And kind of like at the end there, it's like if I take 5 steps away from that teleporter, suddenly I'm going to be out of the position for it and he can wedge himself in between me. So that was a really good game. Thank you so much for sending it in. If you at home wish to have me talk about one of your duels, please send it my way. You can find me on Discord, and I'll have an email address up, maybe by the time this video goes live. Check the description for all those wonderful details. So as always, thank you so much for watching. All feedback is welcome. I'm looking to really uplift my channel, hopefully, in the coming months. Thank you so much. I've been Phylum, and I'll catch you next time.